Good morning and welcome to Wholesome Roots. We are just having a beautiful spring day here in Georgia. It is gorgeous weather, tank top weather. Hello. I wasn't ready for that, but I am ready for that. Totally ready for that. But anyway, I was just gonna update you guys on how well the Dancia milker is working for us with the goats. My hands are getting so much more relief now, and I feel like I'm getting more milk because of it, because my hands don't get tired. I'm able to go longer because I milk with the milker first and then I milk by hand to make sure I got everything out. So Miss Kitty here has just finished her milking with the Dancia milker, and now I'm going to finish hand milking her the rest of the way. So I have my little setup here that I bring down to the barn with me every day. I got my jars and my milker and my bottle for the baby, and of course the camera. And then I still bring my milk pail because I milk out the last of it by hand. So I keep the lid on that. It's all been sanitized. And then after she's been milked out completely, I have over a quart from her already. And then I continue milking her by hand to make sure that she doesn't get mastitis. I'm going to completely empty her out. And then when her baby nurse is on her after this, even though I have completely milked her out, a baby is much better at getting milk out. So the milk will still come out for the baby. And what this is going to do is increase her production for the morning milking, because having the demand increased makes the supply increase. So it works out perfectly to increase her supply every day. She's going to get a little bit better until she reaches her peak performance, which I think is probably about now. I think babies are what, a month old now? That's usually about right. So you see, I still am getting a lot of milk from her. She is really producing well, and I'm very happy with her, and she will definitely have a place in our herd for sure for a long term, because I'm just really happy with her. I think she's a beautiful goat. I think she has a nice personality, and she produces. And producing a lot of milk is more important for us than it is for others, because we are in the process of getting our pet milk license. So we want to be able to sell our milk. And in the state of Georgia, you can only sell raw milk as pet food only. It's not for human consumption. All right, that's it. See, she's done giving it to me, but she's held some back in her udder. I promise you, there's still some up in there that she's not letting me have. And look at all that. That's quite a bit of milk. It's probably at least a cup's worth. That's it. So beautiful Peanut here has been milked out with the milker, and now I'm hand milking her. And she's getting impatient because she finished her food, and I gave her a tiny bit more, but she's wanting more. So I'm just gonna hand milk her the rest of the way out and finish her off. And she's doing really good too. She's definitely at a quart or higher as well. Everybody seems to be given at a quart or higher now on the Alpine, so that's really good. I'm happy about that. Of course, it could be much better, but for these girls and how they started out with such a low volume, I'm happy to be getting a quart now. And quart is like my bare minimum. Like, if I'm not getting a quart, it feels like it's kind of a waste of time. That's where Fancy 2 is starting to fall into. She has been milking for 9 months, so she's at the very end, and she is just not, ooh, no, don't you dare step in my milk there, Peanut. So anyway, sorry, I'm getting distracted and she knows it, so I better go. But anyway, Fancy 2 is hardly giving me any milk now. She's I'm just gonna like start drying her off because she's just not worth the extra effort of getting all the milk stand and everything. So that's where we're at with Peanut. Thank you, Peanut. Rocky here is my real success story. She went from under a quart to over a quart almost instantly after starting the Dancia Milker. So the Dancia Milker works really well on her, as you can see. And the nice part is that she doesn't mind it as much, and it loosens up her udder enough that I can milk out the rest easily. Since I've started using this Dancia Milker, my milk production, the very first day went up 2 cups. And now I'm up to a quart extra milk from using this milker. So definitely recommend it. I don't know what I would do without it, especially for Rocky here. She was definitely on my list of possibly get rid of goats because I couldn't get her milked. But with this, I can. All right, fence is on and everybody's fed and everybody's happy. I love my goats. They bring me so much pleasure. You know, I've had a lot of videos about chicks lately with all the incubating we've been doing. So I wanted to make sure I got a good goat video in for you guys. They're such a beautiful herd. And the 3 pregnant girls that are due at the beginning of April, April 7th is the earliest due date. Oh, be nice to Fluffer Nutter. Anyway, those 3 girls have udders that are filling up. So we are definitely prepared and ready. We gotta get all the stalls cleaned out and done over to make sure that if anything happens when we're not paying attention, that they have a nice clean bedding. And that's about all we have left to do to prepare. The kids of the Alpines, 2 of them are boys, and we have to use the elastrator on them to make them less manly. And they have found the perfect home. They are going to go together, and they are going to go to my dearest friend Martha's house. She has goats, and I mean, she doesn't have goats. She has coonies, the pig, and she has horses. So 2 little Alpine wethers are going to be a perfect addition to her little farm, and it'll be so sweet. And they'll be together, so that'll be really good. That made me feel really happy to see that they were going to stay together and be happy little cousins. So sweet. Bo here on the left, our original Nubian buck. We got him as a buckling with Fancy Girl. Anyway, he was not very good last fall at breeding, but now that he's older, I think he's gonna be just fine, because you can see Fancy 2 has been bred. Yuck, I know, you didn't want to see that, but he is doing the job. We are hoping that it takes and that he is a good fertile buck, because he comes from really great genetics. And you can see he's in full rut. He's got the hair raised up on his back, he's bellowing, he stinks awful, and he's never smelt. He's never done this before. He's just urinating on his face to make himself smell good, because that's what bucks do when they're in rut, because they're disgusting. But essential. So it's good that we have him to breed with Fancy 2, and now we're gonna have to do a really good job of separating our herd so that he doesn't get interested in anybody else he shouldn't be breeding with, because when he's like this, he just doesn't care who it is. He's just gonna go for it. But most of our girls are pregnant or just had babies, so they're pretty safe. But even the just had babies could go into heat, but hopefully not. We're gonna work on the fencing this weekend and get them into their rotational grazing now that the grass is greened up in the pasture. I hope you guys have enjoyed the little goat update, and I don't know how much more I'll be videotaping today. Ryan is homesick, so I'm gonna go and baby him and take care of him, because he always takes care of me when I'm sick, and I want him to feel better. So I'm gonna go take care of him and the boys, and just see where the day brings us. These guys and girls, hopefully all girls, are doing so well. They are so cute and I just love them. I think that baby ducks might be cuter than baby chicks. Is that possible? I think it might be true. So we have a couple that we've named already. We've got our one silver apple yard duckling right here. That one is named Rocky. You're probably wondering how I can tell Rocky from that one. But Rocky has the dark under the eyes, which makes me think of Rocky Balboa and black eyes. But it's Rocky because of the rocking egg, and one of our viewers actually named that baby. And then this one right here with the stripe on the top of its head and the dark tail, this one, we call that one Squints because it's always squinting. And I hope it's not because anything is wrong with it, but it is always squinting. And this one right here, this one, the black and white looking one, it reminds me of a Holstein cow. And the town that I grew up in, that I spent my first 17 years in, had tons of Holstein dairies. And this little guy reminds me of a Holstein cow. So I'm naming it after the town I grew up in, which is Westport. So that one's Westport. If you guys have any name suggestions for the rest of them, please leave it in the comments. We'd love to hear your suggestions. And I think I'm going to try to put my finger in the food and see if that... Alright guys, you were so interested in my hand. Oh, it's my diamond ring. Duh. Of course. Look guys, it's food. Do you notice it here? I've been worried they're not eating as much. When I put it down on the ground and pour it out of the bowl, they seem to all eat it. But when it's in the bowl, it just doesn't seem as obvious to them for some reason. And the fact that when I hold it up to them and they eat it, tells me they might not be eating. Alright. Alright guys, settle down. And then come over here and drink. You gotta drink after you eat. See, the food I spilled out, they seem to be eating. They only want to eat off the ground. Come and drink. I know I've seen them drinking, so I know. And there's food in the water, so they must be drinking and eating. I just wish I would see them eat more than just off the ground. Silly little ducks. That's why I haven't moved them out yet, because I'm not seeing enough food go into them. Once I see them eating a good volume of food where they seem very self-sufficient, then I will move them out. You goats are eating a lot, huh? Look at this fat pregnant mama. Oh, girl. Golly. How many are you gonna have, Shady? My Shady girl. Oh, I hope you give me twins, Shady girl. I hope you do. She just had one last year. She kidded Willow last year and she did a good job. So I'm hoping for twins out of her. And Willow got bred, even though we didn't mean to right away. She had a very active buck that visited, and he jumped the fence and got to her. So, and this girl, oh my goodness, if she doesn't give me triplets or quads, I'm gonna be surprised. She is carrying so wide. Oh, look at that baby. Silly baby. Gee, I wonder where the kids are. Oh, maybe giving Fluff another extra love. That little goat just loves those kids. Be gentle with him, even though he lets you do anything. Hi, buddy. I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you for watching. If you haven't subscribed already, please do so down below. And comment if you have any questions about the goats or any goat questions in general. Feel free to ask. And if you have any ideas for future goat videos that you'd like to see, or any goat video, or any type of video other than goats is fine too. Anything homesteading, we've pretty much been there, done that on just about anything homesteading. And they don't call me the goat lady for nothing. So we will definitely answer any goat questions. Thank you for watching Wholesome Roots.